What's up everybody, Tindo here, and it's time to go video game shopping. I'm gonna go to the thrift store to go video game shopping like I normally do, but I'm gonna do things a little bit different. I'm gonna keep an eye out for some stuff that might go in for good trade-in value at the game store. And at the end of this shopping video, I'm gonna take that stuff to the game store and try to trade up and get a little bit more value out of my money for the day. So check it out. For this video, I went straight to my go-to Goodwill. This is a Goodwill bins, which if you're not familiar is a Goodwill where all the local Goodwills send their leftover stuff and they wheel it out in giant bins and you can dig through it and pay for it by weight. And the first thing that happened as soon as I got in there is a guy handed me these snowshoes because he thought I'd be interested, and he was right. I would really like to have a pair, but these are busted up. All these plastic bits have just snapped in two, so they got tossed back. Would have been a heck of a deal if they hadn't been broken though. And the first gaming-related item that I found was this PlayStation 2. It was in pretty good shape. It was just a little scratched up, a little dirty, but nothing I can't fix. I'm going to go ahead and do the responsible thing, which I don't always do, and power this thing on, make sure that it turns on properly, as well as make sure the disk drive opens and closes smoothly, because a noisy disk drive is the first thing that will disqualify one of these bad boys for trade-in. I've been rejected once or twice for that. And here's a mess of nonsense that I found not long after walking into the store. There's some headphones in there, some AV cables, and then a clone Sega Genesis system that I am not familiar with. This is not one that I've seen. There are several of them. It seems like Sega has licensed the rights to making clone systems to anybody that's got a few bucks, because you can't even count how many there are. Then moving on, I'm digging in the back of the store now, and I come across a Razer gaming keyboard, and it's pretty busted. It doesn't look like there'd be a reason to buy it, but sometimes I take the keys off of them or some of the other removable parts just to repair other mechanical keyboards that I find, because these also go for pretty good trade-in credit if they're in good shape. But there didn't seem to be anything on this one that I needed, so I tossed it back. And then a little bit later I came across a little bowl of dice. Someone just left here, probably just for me. How did they know? I've got a bit of a dice obsession, I'm not going to lie. And these are slightly old, so I went ahead and put those in my box. And then digging some more, I don't know what this is, one of those kids' play systems. But underneath it was a Xbox breakaway cable. And I buy these every time I see them, and I never have enough of them. A little Pac-Man handheld, cool, Hot Wheel track. I'm going to buy every one of those I see. And this plushie Mario was pretty awesome. I was pretty happy to grab that. He's a little busted, but I can fix him. A little bit later, I found a Wiimote and got excited, but then was let down when I looked closer. As you can see, it's been chewed on and dropped and basically destroyed, and there wasn't even a back on it, so there's nothing worth taking there. But it was mixed in with a lot of Xbox peripherals, so I dug through here and made sure there wasn't anything else that I needed. It ended up taking me a little while to untangle, but I grabbed this headset as well as this Xbox hardwire cable. And then digging still, I found the second Xbox breakaway cable of the day, as well as the back of a black Xbox 360 controller. And I need all those I can get. And this Goodwill does charge by the weight, so I ended up finding a cardboard box that was considerably lighter than the plastic box I'd been carrying everything around, so I switched it over, because sometimes this place gets pretty crowded and it's hard to get a spot in line to check out. It can be a madhouse sometimes. So I went ahead and switched everything over just in case I saw my chance to escape. I'd have everything ready. Right before I was about to leave, I spotted this guitar pedal, which is awesome because the place that I like to trade in stuff, they really like taking musical instrument stuff, and this will be perfect. I've traded guitar pedals in the past, so I know they'll want this. And then I went up front to leave, and the line was as long as I was afraid it was going to be, so I dug through the book some more, and I happened across this PC version of Left 4 Dead 2, which is awesome. I don't buy a lot of PC games, but I'm going to buy this one. Alright guys, we're back in the game room now. I spent a couple hours at the Thrift, and I got a big box of stuff, and about half of it I'm keeping, and about half of it I'm taking in to see if I can get some trade. So the extra stuff that I'm keeping, we'll get to that later when I get back to the game room after we go to the game store to trade stuff in. But for now, I've got a PlayStation 2, a Digitech guitar pedal, and this little Pac-Man game. And I'm going to take these three things to the game store and see if I can get some trade-in credit. But first, we've got to see if they work. This thing, I'm not terribly sure they're gonna want, but I'll put batteries in it, make sure it works, and they'll probably give me $1 or $2. But all this stuff, I just paid for it by weight, so I'm at $15 total. So if I can get maybe 20 bucks out of this and 20 bucks out of this, I've doubled or tripled my money if you want to kind of count the value of the stuff I'm keeping. So let's check and see if this stuff works, and then let's head to the game store. All right, first I gotta go over to my game wall that you see behind me in all my videos. And this is where I keep all my gaming related cables. And in here, this is my PlayStation bag. And I've got a PlayStation 2 AV cable. Then over here is where I keep my power cables. And here is a standard power cable. All right, we've got this bad boy plugged up to this flat screen. Let's see if it turns on. Good start. All right, so the system works, but now we've got to see if it'll play a game. So let's go over to the game shelf. Let's try and go with a disc that I know is a blue disc game, Dynasty Warriors 2. Blue disc. And there it is. The Pac-Man game with a fresh set of batteries. I tried a couple sets, does not work. So that's going to the trash. And just gonna go ahead and plug up the guitar pedal. Power's on nicely. So awesome. I also grabbed a couple other things that I had laying around that I've gotten at previous trips to the thrift that I thought would be good trade-in. I'm going to Bookman's today for my trade-in trip because not only do they take video games for trade, they take all types of media, and they also take musical instrument stuff. It's a pretty simple procedure. You walk in here, you hand them your stuff, they tell you to come back in about 30 minutes, and they'll tell you what they want and how much they'll give you for it. And it's always a really nerve-wracking thing for me personally because I really just don't like to get my hopes up. I always convince myself they're probably just going to take nothing, and I just got to be cool with it. But more often than not, they take at least a few things of whatever I bring in, and sometimes I get really lucky and they take everything, and today was one of those days. They liked everything that I brought in, and they gave me a little chunk of change. But I didn't know that while I was looking through this case, so of course I'm sitting here thinking, man, I really want this, I really want that, but I'm probably not going to be able to leave with it, and that's just always nerve-wracking. And then they tell you how much they're going to give you, and then it's really even more nerve-wracking because it feels like so much responsibility to decide what to buy, and you just don't know what to do. But I usually figure it out and leave with some video games. So there's a lot of stuff in here I want, including that wireless Super Nintendo controller. I really want that Wiimote tucked in the back too. I'm trying to get that whole set, and I'm just a few away, but and oh, what a coincidence. There's that Pac-Man. I guess they would have bought it, but unfortunately mine was busted. And then here's something rather peculiar. A guitar amp head wrapped with Louis Vuitton leather. I really just thought you should put your eyeballs on that. Nothing else to say about that. I could not believe my ears when they told me they were offering me $117 trade-in credit. That is one of my best trade-ins ever. And now that I know how much I have, here comes the hard part. Deciding what to buy. So what I do is I go to my go-to games that are on the top of my list of things I'm looking for that I won't feel bad about spending this much money and or store credit on. And at the top of that list, of course, is Dynasty Warriors. I'm trying to get that whole set. If you've watched any of my other trade-in videos, I usually end up buying a Dynasty Warriors game or two. And then I went and looked at the Dreamcast games because you were listening to a brand new Dreamcast owner. So I'm looking for some games to play on my brand new Dreamcast. And there's some Tomb Raider games in here, so I'm going to grab a couple of those. And right before I was about to give up and leave, I remembered that I needed to look at the PS3 section for more Dynasty Warrior games. And look at this, a Gundam Dynasty Warrior games. Please comment below if you knew this existed, and please comment below if you played it and let me know how it is, because it looks like the greatest game I never played. I love Dynasty Warriors, and I love Gundam. How did I not know there was a Dynasty Warriors Gundam game? I am beside myself. I am losing my mind at the fact that that exists. How did I not know? I have brought shame to my dojo. But anyways, the guys and girls that work at Bookman's, they're all really cool, and they never mind to open a big stack of games so I can check and make sure that the manuals are in them. I try really hard not to buy games that don't have manuals, and it turned out that Gundam Dynasty Warriors game didn't have its manual, which I was still going to buy it because I was really hyped to play it. But the rest of the packaging turned out to be pretty water damaged as well. The disc was playable, so I could have bought it and played it, but I am just going to wait until I can go to the other Bookmans across town and take that leftover store credit with me that I didn't spend today and see if I can't find it there. That game is now at the tip top of my list. And here you go. I left with a controller, a big stack of games, and $47 left over in trade-in credit. All right, guys, we were back in the game room, and that went so much better than I thought it was going to. They gave me full trade-in credit for the PS3, and they bought most of that other stuff. And then it turns out there was a little surprise. I tossed in this cable tester that I bought at the Thrift a couple weeks ago and hadn't really thought much about. I tossed it in the bag right before I left, took it there to trade it in, and they were pretty excited about it. They actually gave me a really good chunk of change for it. So I got like $35 for the PS2, which means I got my money back that I spent on thrifting today, which is awesome. And then they gave me a few more bucks for that cable tester. It was actually quite a bit. I think they gave me, I don't know, like $60 or $70 because it was like 230 bucks new. Awesome. So not only did I leave with a stack of games, but I also left with trade-in credit left over. I've got 47 left over, so next trade-in haul video, you'll know where I got the money. So let's run through everything that I got. I'll start with the miscellaneous. We'll start with the stuff that I got at the thrift store, and then we'll go on to the stuff that I have just got with the trade-in. So of course, you already saw the PlayStation 2 and the guitar pedal. That stuff's gone now. And that leaves, I'll start with the messy bit. I started to untangle these cables, and I got a few of them out. Like the Xbox cables, breakaway cables that I bought today. I got 2 of these. I buy these every time I can because I actually get a pretty good chunk of trade-in credit for Xbox Duke controllers, the big fat ones. But when I find them, they are always missing these. So I buy these separate anytime I can. And of course, I untangled an Xbox 360 hardwire cable. But the rest of this, I'll have to do after the video. I got fed up with it. It's pretty rough. There's a pair of Turtle Beach headphones in here. And then the thing I'm really excited about in this mess, and the reason I just ended up buying the whole mess anyways, there is this miniature Sega Genesis. And I got excited when I saw this because there is one, I believe it's a little bit bigger than this, but there is a mini Sega Genesis that is HDMI that's out. Not to be confused with the one that was just released, but there was another old one floating around, and I thought this was it when I saw it, but it's not. I don't know what's on it. I don't know anything about this one, but I'll plug it into my CRT and play it and see what's on it. And it's kind of funny though, because it's got a hardwired controller, this blue Sega Genesis controller, which I thought was really cool. And I'm kind of bummed that it's hardwired on there because I have a rather large controller collection, and I would have liked to have added that to it. If you're interested in checking out my controller collection, I'll leave a link to that below. I've got a video about it and the method in which I display them. But there's that mess. A couple extra power cables. Got a charger cable for my PS3 controllers because the one I have is too short, a nice normal length. I was able to grab a phone case for my iPhone 7. It needs a little bit of cleaning, but the one that I have is pretty roughed up. It's like falling apart at the edges. So I'll switch that out after I get that cleaned up. That was cool. A little plushie Mario. I'm gonna throw him over here by my plushie Yoshi. He's so much smaller than Yoshi. Look at this. I'm gonna have to mount him in just the right way. Oh, you're living there forever. That's awesome. Yeah, that was cool. This is gonna probably seem pretty goofy to a lot of you, but I got a handful of dice because they're older ones. You see right here, this is my power glove, and it is leaning against this hidden jar of dice. This is my dice collection. There's a bunch of them in there. And I'm trying to find a bright yellow gumball machine that matches my shelves that I want to fill with dice. That's kind of a random idea, but that's just what I've visualized for my game room here, and I'm looking for one. And I actually missed one at a thrift store a couple weeks ago. It was a little bit smaller than the one I was picturing. I was picturing a full-size one, but there was about a half-size one at a thrift store for 40 bucks or so. And it was yellow. It was already yellow. I figured I'd have to buy a red one and paint it yellow. but someone beat me to that one and took it home. So I didn't get it, but I also got a couple Xbox 360 headsets, which is good because most of the time when I find these, the ear pads are deteriorated and they're all just in bad shape, but two good ones here. Happy to find those. A battery pack, a regular battery pack for an Xbox 360 controller, which is awesome because I have 3 black ones that don't have their battery cover. 99% of the time, that's how I find those without their battery pack on them. And then, this is kind of funny, 1 Hot Wheel track. And this is funny because almost every thrift haul that I do, if you haven't watched more of them, I find Hot Wheel tracks and I bring bags full of them home. And that's because I have a series of videos on my channel dedicated to Hot Wheel tracks, of which I just posted the first, so I'll leave a link to that below as well if you're at all interested in Hot Wheel tracks and video cameras rolling real fast down Hot Wheel tracks in different places. Check out that series. It is well worth it. All right, so that is, unless I'm missing something, that's all the regular gaming stuff, which just leaves the video games. And I'll start with the 2 games that I picked up at the Thrift, and that is Madden NFL 10 for PS3. And I buy these at the Goodwill there when I can because they're super cheap. They're just pennies. And then this was actually quite a pleasant surprise. It's a PC game. It's Left 4 Dead 2, and this was a surprise because I play this a ton on the Xbox 360. And I have once or twice thought, ooh, this would be fun on the PC because I'm pretty terrible at controller. I'm much better with mouse and keyboard. And I never thought to look if it was on the PC, and I found this today. So I will be installing this and probably playing it in the next couple of days. Super happy about that. But it's also funny because I try really hard not to go down the rabbit hole of buying PC games. I've to date that I can think of only bought one. And this was in a previous episode. It's a PC copy of Tomb Raider 2, which it was just in an awesome box and it's all there, so I thought it was worth buying. So that's the only one I've bought to date. And that segues quite nicely into the first couple things that I bought with the trade-in credit. 2 Tomb Raider games for the Dreamcast, both The Last Revelations and Chronicles. Very happy to pick those up because in my very last trade-in haul video, if you watched that, you might have seen I picked up my first Dreamcast. And I am in dire need of something to play on it because all I have, the only Dreamcast game I have whatsoever is an NBA game. And I'm not much into sports games, so super happy to have those. I will be playing those very soon. All right, and then the last thing that I bought with the trade-in credit was 3 Dynasty Warrior games for the PS3. Some of my earliest trade-in videos that I ever made, I bought lots and lots of Dynasty Warrior games with. I'm getting to where I have a little more than half of them, not too many to go. But I got Extreme Legends for Dynasty Warriors 8. It's kind of funny if you don't know about Dynasty Warriors. There's like 8 or 9 number titles, and then for each number titles, there's 3 or 4 different games, and then there's a whole slew of spin-offs. There's a lot of Dynasty Warrior games. So that's 7. If you saw earlier in this video, there's a Dynasty Warriors Gundam game, and how I didn't know that didn't exist, I don't know. I didn't buy it because it was a little bit in rough shape, and it didn't have its manual, but I will be keeping my eye out for it in the future because I really want to play it. I would be playing that game tonight had I bought it. But Dynasty Warriors 8, PS3. So I'm very happy to add more of the Dynasty Warrior games to my collection. I'm going to build a display just for the entire series of the Dynasty Warrior games as soon as I get all of them. But I still have a big handful to go, including that Gundam one. A Gundam Dynasty Warriors game. I'm in disbelief. The next thing that I bought was this Hyperkin Scout Premium controller for the Super Nintendo. It's wireless. There's the dongle, and there's the controller. I'm super excited about this because I'm on a quest to have one set of wireless controllers for every system that work well. And I don't know, I didn't read any reviews about this. I might have to make a video on it in the future, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't have much input delay because all I'm going to play with it is a bunch of Super Mario World, and I would probably be a bit sensitive to any added input delay from the original controllers. But I'm excited about that, and it was 25 bucks. But as soon as I saw it in the glass case there, I knew I was going to buy it because I've been complaining for a while that I really need to get a wireless controller for my Super Nintendo because all I ever want to play is Super Mario World. That's all the games that I got, and like I said, I still do have $47 trade-in credit, and that's awesome. I don't know what I'm going to buy with it. I might go buy a bunch of Game Gear games, or maybe I'll just buy more Dreamcast games. I don't know, but that'll probably be my next video game haul video. if not the one after that. So guys, that's everything that I got today. I want you to let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing that I bought today was. If I had to pick, I'd say I'm gonna go with the wireless controller, which is a bit of a gutsy move because I haven't tried it out yet, and it could be terrible, I don't know. Maybe I'll let you know about that in the future. But let me know in the comments also if you thought anything that I bought today was stupid. I mean, you know, Madden 10, that's kind of dumb. Or maybe this mess of cables was pretty dumb, I don't know. Maybe I should have taken the time to actually untangle all those. But that's everything for today, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell notification so the next time I post a video like this, you'll get a notification and you'll know that you can come hang out with me then. Until then, guys, peace out.